I was just saying, why don't you get a little bit closer to him?
That's why.
Oh shit! Motherfucker,
Welcome to another comparison video where we're going to be comparing Horizon Zero Dawn versus Horizon Forbidden West. There's been a lot of speculation regarding patch 1.13, and Guerrilla's been pretty upfront about what they wanted to do with the shimmering issues. There's been tech sites as well that I feel like is being a little disingenuous. This particular one, which is called Gaming Tech, has been on some sort of smear campaign regarding Forbidden West. He states that the image quality is very, very, very poor, and then he doesn't really specify what causes it to be poor. That's the biggest problem. I feel like you need to kind of know in advance what the specs are for the performance modes. First and foremost, the original his tempo is actually comparing Zero Dawn's 60 frames per second to the 60 frames per second for Forbidden West, and Zero Dawn is actually checkerboarded to 4K versus Forbidden West being checkerboarded to 1800p. So off the bat, it's going to have some sort of degradation of image quality. That's where the problem happens. Number one. Number two, as you're going to see when we start comparing these things, it is a lot more detail and there's a lot more contrast with Forbidden West versus Zero Dawn, and that's what's causing the shimmering. It's not necessarily a patch issue. It's the inherent art style of Forbidden West that's causing a lot of the issues, and the fact that it's running in the lower resolution. They've done their darndest to actually fix it, and this is the newest patch. I feel like they've mainly fixed it as far as it can go, so let's take a look. Before we get started, I wanted to definitely stress that Forbidden West has way more going on than Zero Dawn. There is much denser vegetation, and its vegetation is actually way higher res, which is causing a lot of the noise that was on there. I do believe that when the game first came out, their anti-aliasing was on the poor side, which has caused a lot of the issues here. But let's actually start comparing the two. Oh, before I even start comparing the two, one of the things I want to say is that all the plants they're physics based, so you can walk through them and the leaves move. That does not happen in the PS4 5 version of Zero Dawn. These particular shots that I want to show you comparing the two games is going to be kind of like a wide view, what you would normally see just in your day-to-day, just exploring the environment. As you can already see, there have been some improvement with the shimmering of the foliage in the background. I don't think this will ever be perfect, I will say that, but one thing I want you to definitely understand is that every piece of foliage that's here, except for the branches on the trees, are affected by all moving NPCs and Aloy at the same time. More importantly, you can see the vast amount of density that they have going on there, and just the textures for the leaves are just way more detailed in general. A lot of animation as well, versus what you can see here. Almost nothing is moving. So, I mean, you could chalk it up to, the weather conditions or whatever the case is, but it would have to be like crazy, like torrential storms that would really make a change here. But just peep it, just look at it and see the amount of foliage that's happening here. And just also notice too that the contrast for this shit is not as pronounced as Forbidden West.
Okay.
But yeah, looking at this here, I don't know why I was trying to run from the fucking tall neck, but notice here that nothing is really moving that's causing the shimmering, and you don't have that much foliage going on either. It's pretty interesting, something to think about as well. Now let's take a closer look at the foliage and just kind of just stare at it, to see the difference. I mean, again, off the bat, this is probably why it was so pronounced when they first showed it. There's a lot of movement going on, a lot of debris in the air as well, versus what you would see in Zero Dawn. It's just a lot of shit going on, it really is. It just looked what I patently say, ball hit it. So another angle that you will see here again is just the overall view once more, and you don't see as much shimmering. You can probably see it better with a cell phone, surprisingly, just because of the smaller screen, but you do see a lot of movement. But I stress again, it's more detailed than Zero Dawn, and it's a lot more movement. But again, let's see, look here, there you go. It's almost frozen. That's how little movement that you have here. Both games are running at 60 frames a second. You can also see that she is not affecting the grass at all. She's clipping through that bitch, and that's what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the comparison that I have. We're going to compare 60 versus 30 frames.
It saw me.